Hi, and welcome to the Feel Good Always podcast, real stories of love, connection, and remembering who we are. I'm Becky Bradley. And in this episode, I'm joined by my dear friend, Lacy Pryde, and she's going to share a bunch of insight on human design and how it can help us stay in alignment and really move more towards that feel good always. She's someone that sees the patterns that people are stuck in and helps people remember the love and authenticity that they have at their core. Together, we talk about signs from the other side, the acceleration of consciousness that's happening on the earth right now, and how following joy is just what we need to do. So this is a great conversation. I know you're going to enjoy it. Let's begin. Welcome to the Feel Good Always podcast. I'm Becky Bradley. This is real stories of love, connection, and remembering who we are. And I'm here with my friend Lacy Pryde. Welcome. So Lacy, you and I have been friends since maybe like a decade. Our kids.
Close to, 8 years maybe.
Yeah. So our kids, we both were looking for an alternative education thing for our kids, and we found ourselves at Acton Academy, and it started with the kids, really, but you and I were kind of magnetized towards each other immediately and could sit out in the parking lot talking for hours, and it just kind of went from there. And your daughter Layla was very close friends with one of Kira's best friends, and so that relationship with them is really kind of part of what started it. But you and I have become really, really close immediately, pretty much, and over these last years. So one of the things I'm going to say to anybody that's listening, this Feel Good Always podcast, it's about feeling good, right? It's born out of it's born out of Kira really guiding me to do this, because there's this thing happening on Earth right now where we are experiencing higher levels of consciousness. I have experienced it. You know, my daughter Kira was in an accident and she died, which is very, very tragic. But what happened was I was really catapulted into this other level of consciousness, that really this experiencing this high level of connection that really does make me feel pretty good. But that doesn't mean that I only feel good. But she kind of has tried to show me this. And what I've experienced is that, you know, even though you're somebody that's always really been connected and had a lot of signs, but I think there's an acceleration that's happening right now. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there's an acceleration that's happening. And when I say that, I mean that maybe we were getting signs and feeling connected before, but I could even say in the last couple of months, it's gotten even more and more and more accelerated, but really in the last year. And I know that you're one of those people that has had a lot of really profound experiences and that is experiencing this, bringing this energy onto the earth. You know, I think most people can feel it, but really once you start feeling it and connecting to this energy, you do feel pretty good. So Feel Good Always, it's not about toxic positivity. It is definitely about feeling, because you can't get to this connectedness without really having the full human experience. But we are headed that way. And what we're going to talk about today is your experiences, how it's not that you're trying to do this. It's actually just happening, right?
Yes, it's just happening.
It's just happening. So I want to, and your work in human design, I wrote a little bio about you, and I'm going to read that. And then I just can't wait to get started. I know you have a lot of wisdom to offer about everything that we're talking about and how other people can move into this too. So I'm excited to introduce my friend Lacy. Lacy and I walked a path of growth together, brought together by our connection to our daughters, Kira and Layla. Through this journey, Lacy has delved deeply into human design, not just as a practitioner, but as a seeker of her own truth. She is a truth teller and can really see people for who they are. She has a gift for helping people see the patterns that they're stuck in, guiding them to release what no longer serves them, and helps them see the parts of themselves that they can't see so that they can move forward. Her work is about helping others understand who they really are, beyond fear,
beyond conditioning, so that they can live authentically and embrace their own divine purpose, getting closer to the truth of who we all are, not fear, but pure love. What I love most is that she doesn't just teach this, she lives it. Her willingness to face her own fears and pain has allowed her to embody the truth that we are all this pure love at the core. And that through our friendship, Lacy and I have mirrored and taught each other, growing side by side. Lacy is also one of those people who isn't going to follow the norm. She questions everything and follows her own knowing rather than what society tells her to do. And in doing that, she shows others that they can do the same. She is also deeply connected to animals and the natural world. We share this bond as we both have homes full of animals, but Lacy has taken it to the next level with alpaca, sheep, pigs, chickens, and a bunch of dogs. And then there's my favorite, Richard, the sheep, who thinks he's a dog. Richard has single-handedly made Lacy go viral on TikTok, and honestly, it's no surprise because her love for animals shines so brightly in everything she does. That connection to animals, to truth, to love shines through not only in her daily life, but in the ways she shares her wisdom with others. And I can't wait to hear her stories, her heart, and the way that she brings truth to life in such an authentic way.
Oh, thank you. That was so beautiful.
That's you.
Your words, they always make me just want to, I just feel them, which is your main gift.
Yes, I love you're always telling me. Okay, so tell me about my gifts.
Your gifts, you're so gifted. Your main gift is here. You're here to go all in on life and teach us how to feel.
Yeah.
And really dive into the experiences and come out on the other side with knowing what they're here to teach you.
My experiences with
your experiences and not ever to be a victim. I have never seen you be a victim.
Yeah. No, I don't see my life. That's not. And so you're saying that I don't see myself as a victim, even in this circumstance that I find myself in, which with my child on the other side, which is, my worst nightmare. But you're saying that my human design actually has that in it.
Yes, your main gift, your sun gate 30.
So what is gate 30?
Gate 30 really is about wanting to really experience life, the feeling. It's in your solar plexus, which is the feeling center.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's in the feeling center. So it's interesting because, when I get around you, I have a hard time crying. But how many times have you seen me cry?
Yeah.
A lot.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
I can get in Becky's presence and really, really feel. I can release that emotional energy. My body feels safe in your presence, and not to mention is your gift, right? That feeling. So of course you have this podcast, Feel Good Always.
Yeah.
Like you are literally living in alignment with your human design in the way you speak of. I wake up each day and I follow whatever signs are right in front of me, whatever you respond to, which has led you here to this podcast. Listening, even though it's scary, even if it feels like, even if the mind goes, no way, I feel like you're past that now. But what the mind comes in and says, no, I don't want to do that. That's not right. That's not for me. But your body, your inner, you follow that inner knowing. You listen.
Yes. And what you're saying, I think that's so important because there are definitely a lot of things that have happened in this, in my life that I didn't want to do, that I did anyways. But really, since Kira transitioned, a lot of this, speaking so publicly, sitting, which I know this is going to be what we're going to do next. Even when I listen back to the podcast, watching myself sit and experience the pain of, other people experience it kind of over and over. And I know this podcast won't continue to always be like that, but to experience the pain of Kira's transition over and over again, which is okay. But I'm just like, wow, that I'm willing to do that. It's because I'm being shown and guided to do it to help other people to really, to feel good, because I do feel good now. Pretty good most of the time. And it's because I'm in this higher level of consciousness. I don't actually like to say higher or lower because it is kind of better. It is better. Not that I'm better, but it does feel a lot better. It does feel a lot better because my circumstances of my child being, my child died, and that was really obviously the worst thing. And how do you go on from there, and by nature, I'm a pretty happy person, and I follow the signs, but and the connections, but not immediately. So I had to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do, just like you're saying, and I think that's what I tell people when it feels like it's not your idea and it keeps coming up. It's probably coming from outside of you. It doesn't mean that it's not me. It could be that part of my higher self. It's a team. God, Kira, my higher self, our higher selves are working together. That's how I can message you. And you're thinking about me. We connect, our energy connects, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to talk a lot about human design. I know, just about Kira, because I know that you've had some experiences with her. I know that her, Kira dying was really, hard on you because she pretty much hung out at your house all the time, loved you, loved your family, and felt comfortable with you, which actually makes so much sense because when she was younger, she was not comfortable going anywhere, and your house was one of those first places that she was comfortable to do that. And that she kind of showed you, she has shown you over the last year and a half a lot of things.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think it's a lot of that is you and I are so similar. The way we raise our children are so similar.
Yeah.
Right. So I definitely think that's a huge part of it. But as far as Kira showing me stuff, I think the biggest thing was the rainbow situation. You want me to talk about that?
Sure.
So my son and I went to Costco and he was driving. He just got his license, just got his car. You and I had been really connecting that week, and I saw, a very small rainbow coming out of the hills, very small. And I got excited. I was like, yay, I'm excited. I get to send it to Becky. And then I thought about it. I was like, no. I said, Kira, you can do better than that. Those were my words. I'm not saying this out loud because my son will look at me like I was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He already thinks I'm a little cuckoo, but I just said, Kira, you can do better than that. And also, I didn't tell you this part, but I said, Kira, if this really is you communicating with your mom, I want to know. Please show me a rainbow over my house when I get home. So we got home. It's about a 30 to 45-minute drive. Get home. There isn't a rainbow. I walk in the house, walk through my kitchen. There's a window. And I look out my window and I just start crying. I run outside. Was there a double rainbow?
Yeah.
There was a double rainbow over my house. And I'm just crying. And my family's just looking at me like, what is happening? And I'm sending Becky a picture of it. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, to me, that was just validation. Like,
yeah,
that was a huge validation.
So there was still part of you that wasn't sure.
It's not that I wasn't. I wanted to feel connected to her because, like you said, I've had a really hard time with this.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
So I wanted to feel that connection.
And I think it's so important that you say that because I can share with you sign after sign after sign, and I can share with people. It is a feeling. It is that feeling inside of you.
Yes.
When you see that rainbow, because when we are connected in this way, we are at a vibrational state that we can feel it. Okay? Does that make sense?
Oh, I felt it. I felt it.
So it's not only that, we're in a almost like in a state that the rainbows can appear. So it's not only that this rainbow is appearing and making me feel good, it's that I feel so good that I can actually, the rainbow has the ability to appear when I ask for it.
Absolutely. And like I said,
I
was already in that state of, I was already excited, right? Oh, I was excited because we were connecting.
Yeah.
And we were connecting about Kira. And I was, this when we first started connecting, I was really happy to hear that my friend was in such a good space.
Yeah, because you were worried about me.
I was really worried about you.
But you wouldn't reach out to me.
No, I was in a lot of fear, and I'm sorry about that.
No.
I was in a lot of fear.
Yeah.
You know the whole situation with. I was there during that time of your fear of something happened to Kira. And so when that happened, of course, it elicited so much fear in me because, I had the same fear about one of my children.
Yes. So together, you and I have these fears.
Yes.
All this time, we talked about our fear and like kind of worked through the anxiety of thinking you have a child that you thought this and I also do. And then, then Kira actually dies. And so it's like, oh my gosh, maybe my child will die too.
Well, first, of course, I was devastated that Kira lost her life and that my friend was experiencing this. But also, yes, it was almost like a reflection of like, wait, well, Becky had this fear and I have the same deep, intense fear that we both went and were seeking help for it.
Yeah.
And then to see that happen, it scared me so much that I couldn't even.
But Kira sent me to you. She brought you back in.
Oh, yes,
so
she did.
I want to speak to a couple things first. Of course, that makes so much sense. Absolutely. If this would have happened, roles were reversed, I would have done the same thing.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay. I think I would have. I know that I would. I was so afraid of something happening to Kira that I couldn't read a book about. I mean, I think I couldn't read books about it. I would kind of steer away from any of this because it activated so much fear. So I keep saying it, but I'm going to keep saying it over and over for anyone that's listening. Even if just because you have this fear doesn't mean that it's going to happen to you too. Okay. And we stay in the present moment. And when Kira was here on earth, I stayed in the present moment. We actually only have now anyways. So I always tell people come back to the present moment. It's pretty normal. I mean, mine was, I had a lot more than just that fear. I was seeing lots of things ahead of time. And so, but then you have you that, well, first of all, of course, you were there. You reached out to me immediately. We were actually talking a week before Kira transitions. I share with you a story of my horse because my horse had passed away 2 months before Kira. And I shared with you this kind of like, he came to me in Shavasana. So I was looking at our text and that was our last conversation. And I'm like, wow, this was happening before. So 2 months before I shared with you that I was in yoga in Shavasana and I started thinking about my horse, which is kind of a weird thing to think about my horse. So my horse, pictures of my horse were coming through my head. And then as I came out of Shavasana, my watch vibrated and it was the trainer to tell me that my horse was down in the pasture and he died within 12 hours. And then there was a long series of signs after that. So it's so funny that I go, I never had this before. Okay. It was accelerating, coming, and so definitely. You and I have that, we're talking about that. And then I know you went to the service and immediately as you left, a picture popped up on Layla's Snapchat memories of her and Kira, and you sent that to me.
Well, what had happened was, you had this 15, 20-minute slideshow of pictures. And when we were leaving, I said, oh, that's interesting. Like you and Kira really close. You weren't in any of the pictures, yeah. Which that's just silly to say. But I said it.
Yeah.
And the second we sat, this was when we were in the parking lot. The second we sat in the car, Layla picks up her phone. She goes, look, there were 3 pictures of memories in her Snapchat. They were all her and Kira. And we just looked at each other and I said, that's Kira. And she goes, yeah, it's Kira.
She's saying, yeah, she didn't put the slideshow together.
Yes, exactly. That's what made me laugh.
Here's your slideshow.
Here's
right afterwards.
Here's the picture.
So Layla's not in the pictures. I mean, I could go on about why that, it actually probably happened because if Layla was in the picture, she wasn't going to get that connection from Kira right after.
Oh,
which is so
100%.
Powerful.
It all worked out.
Yeah, which was so powerful because Layla shows up on my featured photos all the time. I mean, Kira and Layla were very close friends. So, anyways, then I end up talking to you and I actually, what happened was I had this song that I heard in yoga and it spoke to me. I felt like it was Kira. It was the song Rescue. And she like made me send it to every single person that had texted me since 12/16, which is her transition day. Every single person. It was literally 22.22 on the clock when I just looked at it. Of course. Of course. The one time I look at the clock, 22:22, that's what Kira sends. So back to what I was saying. So I end up sending a message to every single person, and I didn't want to. It was like, oh, even that person, even that person. So I'm sending like 250 messages, just this song. And I didn't know why I was doing it. It was one of those things where I was just feeling this push to do it. I mean, I was sending it to like the vice principal of the school that had texted me once, everybody. Oh my gosh. And I'm like thinking people are going to think I'm crazy but it didn't matter because, and that's what I was doing. I did it anyways. And what happened with that is some people literally were like, are you okay? You know, because I was sending out some signs and connections, but it brought in the people that were afraid to reach out to me. And I couldn't see it when I was doing it. I was like, I just kept feeling like, nope, that person too. Nope, everybody. And I was like, oh my gosh, all these people. It also helped me to like do what I'm doing today is like to just be willing to speak about it at a mass level, a much bigger level. But that's what called you back in. And you were so afraid to reach out to me. And then I was able to be like, I'm actually doing really well, which is so wild. But I was, because she was so, you know, I am in this energy of like very deep connection, not just to her, but everything, which when we come here in these bodies, we're having a human experience. And it is really, our experience really is around the way that we feel. And I've just been able to experience it, feeling it in a different way through stripping away of everything.
It's everything.
Fear and all of that.
Coming to feel, that's why we're in these physical bodies, is to feel.
Yeah. And I didn't really totally understand that until, I mean, a couple years before Kira transitions, I go through this whole thing where I'm learning to feel. But the amount of feeling that I was expected to do with Kira, just it's almost like I was watching myself have the experience, like just, wow, we really did come here to feel. Like I could be in it and watch it at the same time, which really powerful and kind of stripped away everything and then opened me up to see wild connections and to do what I'm doing right now.
It's amazing. And you are the role model in human design. You're the 4-6 profile, which is I don't like the language, the opportunist. The fourth line has to do with the network, which you have a huge network of people.
Yes.
Huge network of people. And the role model. I mean, you are the role model. Like Becky walks in a room. She's not just talking the talk.
Yes.
She's walking the walk.
Yeah, hopefully I am the role model.
You are the role model.
I am the role model of living authentically in alignment. I could say that without it's beyond me, you know. It's my nature to show that we can, not just through this with Kira, but even before, you know, really just wanting what's best for everybody. And then the network thing, which I think you're like this. I just thought, well, I'm extrovert, you know. So I practice yoga. I would always go to like all the studios. I'm friends with like all the studio owners. So I would always do that. And I'm part of this community and that community. I'm like part of this Buddhist community. And then I'm part of the homeschooling community. I'm just like a part of a lot of communities.
No, I'm not like that. That's you. That's the fourth line. That's
okay.
you.
Okay. You're extrovert. But you're not so that makes sense to me now, the networking thing, because I mean, I always have been like that. I'm very connected, and I'm so thankful for the connections that I have, because when Kira transitioned, I saw it so clearly. I've always known how supported I am and what a deep connection I have with with children, with the all my son and my older son and daughter's friends. Just a really big, it's big. It's very big. And it expands, and like this deep connection that I can be with you and feel very, very close to you, and then be with someone else. And it's all very authentic, that I see people And they feel calm around me because I see them and continue to reassure them that they're exactly where they're supposed to be, and usually can say the thing that helps them see the truth of what they, what they are. I mean, we do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And you're not afraid to speak, number one, your mind or the truth of who you are, which is
Yeah.
also your human design.
I love that. Okay.
Your divine centers and your channels that connect. You are here to speak your mind in the truth of who you are, which you do so well.
Yeah. So for me, it's interesting because I've really discovered more of this stuff like astrology or like human design. So when you're telling me, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like me. And then like numerology, I'm a master 33, which is like the master teacher. I learned all of this after Kira transition. I read it and I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then Kira's a master 22. I'm like, yeah, that's her. So it's just interesting that these things all fall into place. However, I think that if I would have had these things earlier, I learned about them exactly when I was supposed to. I never do the regret thing, or I wish I don't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyways. It's here just to confirm.
Yes.
Right? It's here just to confirm I'm on the right path.
It confirmed, that's what it does for me. But I'm wondering if for other people, when you're helping other people, does it sometimes help them see that, they're not, because I know sometimes people will feel like they're not living the right path or not aligned, even though they are. And maybe understanding yourself better through human design can help you understand that, like, we are always right where we're supposed to be. It doesn't mean that we don't need to move in a different direction, but you are actually always where you're supposed to be. But human design, getting to know yourself on this level, maybe helps. Does that help people or?
Well, yeah. So there's indicators, right? There's indicators that we're on a path. However, that path can feel frustrating or it can feel satisfying. Okay, so for you as a manifesting generator, your indicators are you feel very satisfied. And I keep asking you this question, don't I?
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning and you feel like satisfied. You
feel pretty good.
Feel like peaceful and happy.
Yeah, I'm excited to get up.
And you're excited.
I'm excited for all day.
Yeah.
I've been like that for a while, years.
Yes.
Except for after Kira transition. Right. I didn't want to wake up or go to sleep or do anything, but it did come back. And then it came back even more so. But that's the manifesting generator. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm based off the question you're asking me is like, how does it help people? Most people are not living in a path that feels based on their energy type, satisfying, successful, peaceful, right? So the people that are coming to me, I'm helping them in their centers where they're out of alignment.
Okay.
But witnessing you and knowing your human design, it's really satisfying for me because I get to witness somebody who is in alignment. And that's why I feel in so much joy and ask you so many questions.
Okay.
Because I'm just trying to confirm what I'm seeing on your chart. And for me, it's like confirmation, like what you're telling me you're doing is exactly what your energy type should be doing. Wake up in the morning and follow the thing. Follow the thing that lights you up. Yeah. That's not how most people live.
Yes. How do they get there? I mean, if you ask me, because there's a lot of ways to get there, but once you're in alignment, it's very easy. It feels very natural. But it wasn't always like that for me. So when somebody comes to, it wasn't, it's been a continuous seeking and a continuous path to be in alignment, but through hearing, like right now, if somebody's listening and like they feel it in their body, like human design, like that, like where you get these like little breadcrumbs that help you, to go to the next path. For me, maybe it was a book. It was all the things that I actually were already laid out in my path, like these were always things that I was going to have access to so that I could be in this for what happened with Kira. I came in pretty peaceful. Thank you. I'm grateful for that. But that doesn't mean that if someone else is in a situation that they didn't come in and they get, hit over the head with a really hard situation, peaceful, that they can't still find peace, right?
Correct.
This is still possible.
Absolutely.
So for people, like if somebody needs to be in alignment, what does that look like if somebody's not living in alignment?
Depends on my energy type.
Like for you, do you have anything that you
yes,
feel like?
For me, it's frustration because I am a generator.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm feeling frustration, it simply means I'm making decisions out of alignment.
Mm.
So what that would look like in the chart, I would go to what's called the undefined centers. Okay. So anywhere where the centers are white, that's where I'm going to go to people's charts because I'm going to help them. I'm going to help them correct where they're out of alignment. And it's usually in the undefined centers, meaning they're going to be making decisions out of the undefined centers. The mind is going to hit them in the centers. The centers each mean different things. There's 9 centers. They each mean different things. But I can see on their chart where they're making their decisions.
And then help them with that.
Yes. Because you're waking up in the morning, you're just following the joy. If somebody saw what you're following, some people be like, what? That's crazy. Right? Podcast. No, that's crazy. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not everybody's path, but everybody's joy looks like something different. Not all of us are going to.
Correct. But you are following that path where a lot of people are going to let their mind talk them out of it.
Yes. That is actually, and I see how that could happen, we could, and I really do think that with what happened with Kira and really feeling that guidance from her and a wild amount of stuff happening, that it was like, a lot of times I'm like, this is a dream. It's like I've woken up in a dream, and I say that, and you laugh because it is a dream. It is a dream. It's an illusion. And the reason it's like when you're dreaming and you start seeing things that like don't really make sense, that's what's happened to me in the physical world, is that, on the way over here to do this podcast, I saw like, I'm literally parked behind the number 22. I saw like 5 license plates with 222, tons of stuff. It's just not, you've got 222 tattooed on you. Of course you do. And it's just like nonstop. So I could think of something and it literally pops up in my phone, or somebody messages me about it. So it's like, it's like a dream, in the sense of, if all of these things can happen, then how is this, it's made me question my reality, and to be like, you can tell me as much as you want that it's not scientifically proven or like whatever. And I'm just like, I'm experiencing something that there's not a person on this planet that could tell me that what I'm experiencing isn't real. And so, which really is also, I'm like, it's not real, because it really feels like a dream, an illusion. And they talk about that, like it's all an illusion, this life that we're living, which.
Well, it's funny because I think we talked about this years ago, and I think you said I was crazy.
I did think you were crazy.
I didn't know that until someone recently told me that you thought I was crazy.
I think I told you I thought you were crazy. That's interesting.
Anyhow, I read this book. I'm terrible. I have no concept of time. We'll just
because it's not real.
Because it's not real.
Okay.
Could be the ADHD thing, but no concept of time. I read this book 10 to 15 years ago. It's called Bustin' Loose from the Money Game. I don't like the name of it because it just sounds like it's about money.
Busting from the money game.
Bustin' Loose from the Money Game.
Okay.
It talks about, and it goes into very, very detailed how we are living in an illusion. And after reading that, I could not look at life the same.
Yeah.
Ever again.
Yeah.
And so the things that you're speaking now, I know it's true. Yeah. I know what you're saying is true. Mm-hmm. Like intellectually, I know it and I've seen it, but I get to witness you fully embodying it.
Yes, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. So we can hear about things like the new earth, right? Mm-hmm. I would read about it, and I did. So I think it's important to know, because I'm listening back to myself on podcasts talk about, I never had these connections. I definitely was reading the books, and I was reading, I was doing all of these practices. And anyone that hasn't done any of this, you can always start now. Like I've always had that in my mind. Like I can start now. I can eat a gigantic brownie and tomorrow decide that I'm never going to make myself feel bad for it. I'm just going to start eating better now, or I'm just going to start, like even in grief, like I literally was like, I'll start now, like one little grain of sand towards peace. It's like, that's just the way that we can do it. But so I have had lots of books. It's just interesting the way that this information comes to us. It could come in a book like that. It will find us one way or another to let us know that it's an illusion. I mean, Kira started sending me all kinds of books. One of the first experiences that I had, and now it feels so small, but it was big. She was connecting with me and telling me to read a book called Wolf's Message. And in that book, there was a picture of a lake in Canada called Lake Peyote, and it looks like a wolf. She kept encouraging me for like 4 days, read the book, read the book. So I read it. And I'm literally like, and she's like, finish it. And I literally was finishing it in the car outside of yoga. And I walk into yoga, and the picture that I had just seen in the book was up on the wall, and a yoga teacher had taken it. And and then I tell this story to another woman. And then as soon as I tell her, this is like a week later, I walk into the bathroom of another restaurant, and it's there a minute after I told her. So I was having those things where things were just like, I would see it, and then I'd see it manifest itself in the physical world. And I was just like, what is happening here? And it's a feeling, like you said, like with the rainbow.
But you also acknowledge it. You really acknowledge it, where most just, oh, what a coincidence. And so the magic isn't showing up all day, every day like it is for you, because you are connecting the dots, speaking them, sharing them, right? Yes. You're not keeping it to yourself. You're sharing this information. You're texting everyone, and everyone, so we're all getting signs too. We're all texting each other, right? It's when you just like keep it all to yourself, and when you don't acknowledge it and get excited about it, then guess what? It's not going to keep showing up.
And why do you think that is?
It's like when you keep giving somebody something and they don't show appreciation for it, do you want to keep giving it to them?
Yeah.
No. So why would the universe want to keep
giving it back?
It's why would it was
feeding energy to it?
It's feeding energy.
Yeah. It's like, and that is why Kira was encouraging me, because I felt I was having so many really profound things happen, but I was also side by side grieving terribly. And so people would kind of look at me like they were in so much pain over Kira's accident, and they couldn't even believe it. And here I am trying to tell them the story about a rainbow or live carved in the table, because she sent me that too. Like, she was encouraging me to live through physical signs. And so I started to share them more. It started with like 5 people, and then it was like my whole phone roll. And then it was like select people would get a lot of signs. And now I'm sharing it on a podcast, and still not to the level of things that happen. So there's just so much happening. I'd like to actually share the ER story. This is interesting.
Oh yeah. So let's see, when was it?
The other day Friday. I texted you about the podcast. And then you responded because you were.
Oh yeah. So I was my son was in the ER. He has mono. So we were in the ER, and I just said, oh, we're in the ER. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Why.
And then you later text me again later in the day at 2:22 and said, you just sent me a screenshot. 2:22.
Oh, it was 2:20. Okay. So it was August 22nd at 2:22, and my battery was at 22%.
Okay.
So it was all these twos on the screen.
And so you screenshot that to me. So later that day, I'm getting a pedicure. I get a call from Maddie that my daughter Lila has dislocated her knee. And I'm just like, I'm pretty calm. Okay. We're going to go to the ER. Immediately, I know. I've had so much confirmation. I'm like, that's why Lacy was messaging me, because I will see things ahead of time through other people. It's like these mirrored experiences. And so I was like, that's why I saw that. That's why Lacy texted me that she was at the ER with Uriah. And then right as I have the thought, another friend that you don't know sends me a text and it's 5:22, and she sends me a screenshot of her phone, just like you had sent me a screenshot of your phone. 5:22, and she says 5:22 on 8:22, and my battery is at 22%, which is mirroring the exact same thing that you had sent me. And so I was like, oh my gosh, of course. So then fast forward, I'm in the ER with my daughter, Maddie. Lila has gone back, and I show her this. I'm like, look, I saw this ahead of time, which she also had her own experience where they were talking about first aid kits and stuff literally a minute before it happened. And she looks at my text. I show her the two texts, yours that said 222, 22% on 822. And I show her the other one, and she goes, Mom, do you see what her text says? The other girl said, it's 5:22 on 8:22. My battery's at 22%. And she goes, I'm still at the ER. I was like, oh my gosh. So you were at the ER, I was at the ER, and this other person, and we've got these mirrored texts. So those are the kind of things that happen so often that I'm like, it is kind of an illusion, a dream. So of course I'm having this real experience of my child being in the hospital, but we just started laughing in the hospital because, what do you do? What do you do? And Maddie actually has some hospital PTSD. She was in the hospital a couple months ago, almost died from appendicitis, which is really scary. And I was more worried about her having to go back into the hospital. And so then, but these signs and these connections, they just make it like brings in an energy. It's not just that we're like, these make us laugh. The energy was so high that we like had to leave the waiting room because we were like giggling. Because then that is that feel good always. It's this level of connection that shows all these mirrored things. And the mirroring is showing us how we are all the same and that we're all continuously growing. So you have an experience and then I have it. And for whatever reason, I just see things ahead of time, like that, like the ER thing. And then I get a thought, and then it appears on my phone to confirm. And that happens over and over. And now I do, like you say, I acknowledge I don't have to do much for it to continue. I'm not afraid it's going to stop. I'm fully anchored in this energy, and I'm just spreading it. I'm just spreading it because this is available to all of us. This feel good always. It actually is about feeling good. I don't like to say it because, people think that's toxic positivity, but we can move towards feeling good. We really can. And I'm just here to say it's possible. And it's not just possible for me because of my human design. I really do think it's coming for everyone. That's where we're headed. That's our nature. It's our true nature.
Well, that's what I love about that book, Best and Loose from the Money Game. It talks about basically of a higher self, and the human body is the game piece, right? Mm-hmm. And no matter what's happening with the human body, no matter what's going on in this game, the higher self is having a blast, no matter what it is. So when you say things like that, I'm like, she's speaking what the game's talking about. Like,
yeah, it's a game.
You sent me that video. You're literally laughing in the hospital, and I'm just giggling, laughing. I'm just laughing because you guys are laughing. I'm like, even though Lila's hurting.
Yes, Lila's hurting.
Okay.
Yeah. And Lila was laughing too. That's what our family does. Like the family group chat. And I posted it all to social media. And you know what? The old Becky would have been like, people are going to judge me for laughing at the hospital when my child just literally dislocated her knee. But like, that's what we do. It doesn't mean that it wasn't hard for her. She's tough. That kid is tough. She is okay. But it's also like, this is
But that's also what we all need to see, is people laughing and still enjoying themselves even on these so-called hard times.
Yeah, like that. And it's not to say that there aren't, when Kira transitioned, that was freaking hard, but we have the darkest humor. Like our family says the darkest things, like just trying to be funny, sometimes that, it helps. And I think people that have grieved or been through something like this can understand that, but it does move us more into that, doesn't mean that we don't think that it's hard, but I don't get stuck in it, and then the ER thing, that theme continued on with Kristen, who was on the podcast a few weeks ago. She also that whole theme with that group of moms, there was like a whole ER theme that went, and they're like, can we stop this theme? We're ready for like something else. And you know what?
So sometimes when you send me stuff, the spider thing you were sending me, I was like, can you stop? Because then they were showing up in my bathroom. I'm like, don't send me stuff.
I'm like, sorry, I will send somebody like an emoji of a spider. I'll accidentally hit it and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I think you're about to see spiders. And it's like all I have to do is say it and then it kind of happens, which is wild. It's an illusion. So the game, that wasn't something that we talked about. I've talked recently on the podcast about soul planning, and that we come here with a plan. And they talk about sometimes it's like for the ascension of our, for our souls to ascend, right? And to have these experiences. And I never heard of that concept before Kira transitioned, but that our higher selves know the plan, they're watching, and it's like, I think somebody 2 days after Kira transition told me this. It's like Kira's looking down at me and Mike, and we're bawling, crying, right? This is another family that had their son had died. So they, it came from the right people. They were saying like how they're looking down on us, basically just like we're toddlers, like we don't really know, like we're crying, but we don't really know, like it's all going to be okay.
You don't see the bigger picture. They see the bigger picture.
They see the bigger picture. And so I was getting these like little people, my path that I had created, I had all these people that would come in and start sharing this stuff with me from seemingly out of nowhere. So it wasn't like I was seeking this. The information of this was planned. It came from like 8 different directions, people that I didn't know starting to talk to me about this, which also aligned with everything that I knew ahead of time. So, and then eventually I could hear Kira and she was like, yeah, we planned this for more than just like, I'm like, really, this is pretty extra. Why would I plan this? But which
you already knew it too.
Yeah, I knew.
A part of you already knew this was
coming. And when I got the knock on the door, it was a very weird, surreal, it was like a swirling experience because of knowing ahead of time. It was like kind of experiencing something I already had experienced, and also at the same time trying to be like, wait, what is happening? Because I knew. And then I started speaking of that, and that scared a lot of people. But what I know today is that I know a lot of things. I know that I can trust what's coming through for me. And I know that I have the highest good of all people, and that I'm just trying to say that this is possible for everybody else. If Becky Bradley, I always say Becky Bradley, that's me, that's me, but that's not me. My higher self is not actually here in the personality of Becky Bradley. I get guided by that, but like my personality would not have chose this. A lot of things I wouldn't have chose, but it is what happened, and it is what my higher self chose for the much bigger work. And it took a while for my higher self, with a team, with Kira, God, all working together, a whole team trying to show me through wild things. Like you said, yours came through a money book. I got the connection to a grander plan and all of that. It came through a day trading book, which is a whole nother wild story. But it had to come like that for me to really see the message, because I was getting the message everywhere. Like, trust the grander plan, trust the grander plan. And it's like, how do you trust a plan that takes your child, And so today, Kira and I do this work together, and then, I can see you and I can say to you, no, like, seriously, like, we don't have like time to waste, because I can see you and what you're supposed to be doing. So your animals go viral.
You're so funny.
Yeah.
No, I was just talking about what you said a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, say it. You say it.
Well, I'm in school to be a drug and alcohol counselor, and we sat in the car and you looked at me and you go, a 9-to-5? You're not a 9-to-5er. You're an entrepreneur. And we just started laughing so hard because you're the first person that it just made me laugh, because I know you're here to speak your mind. Most people are going to speak their mind. They're just be like, oh, that's so cool. And you're like, what are you doing that for?
I mean, there's a reason that you're doing it, but it's not because you're going to go be a drug and alcohol counselor. Maybe, but not, you're not going anywhere.
I mean, but that's also what we have in common. We're both sober.
Yes, we're both sober. Yes. And I don't
Both.
think that I could have this level of consciousness being so expansive with blotting out my consciousness like I was doing. And yeah, and I love that, I can be an example of sobriety for a long time. I mean, I don't talk about it that much. I mean, it's a huge part of how I'm able to do this. I don't have to think about it that much. But and then so when you tell me I'm not drinking anymore, I'm like, yeah, it feels better, huh?
Definitely.
And it opens you up to, but it's all part of that plan. It's all part of that plan. And then so yeah, you talking about being the drug and alcohol, I think you would be amazing at that. All I was saying is you're not doing a 9 to 5. So the other thing that I think is happening for you, I want to speak about Richard. So you're really connected to animals. So am I. So you have this sheep that literally has gone super viral on TikTok. You have tons of followers, like
Instagram, TikTok, now YouTube.
Yeah. And it's literally just started.
Yeah.
You had like 50,000 followers on Instagram within like a couple weeks, right?
No, I have 58,000 within 5 months, which is still quite a bit. 42,000 on TikTok. And then I just started a YouTube last week. It has almost 6,000 followers.
Yeah.
2 viral videos. There's several viral, but their children's book is coming out within the next 72 hours.
And they're so cute. I'm totally going to link like every single person listening. If you do anything, you don't have to you need to go to the show notes and find Richard and the Guardians and follow them, because I was sitting outside with Maddie the other day because she follows them. She was like, oh my gosh, I love Richard so much. And I'm just like, yeah, he's bringing great joy. And when I talk about this energy, right, this is how I see it. And I'm right. So we're all connected. We're bringing this energy, and that energy doesn't need words. So you have this energy that's surrounding you. You're experiencing this higher level of consciousness. You're helping people with human design, but people aren't paying as much attention to the human design thing, but they are paying attention to your animals. So you get this animal that comes and lives on your property, and he's this sheep that ends up acting like a dog and literally gives you great footage all the time, great content without you really having to do anything besides film it. I mean, it's easy, right?
So I can go into my human design and tell you exactly why it's easy.
Yeah, tell me.
Because there's plenty of animal accounts that don't go super viral.
Yeah, tell me what's happening.
Well, I'm glad that you said that the human design wasn't really doing much. I had hired a coach, a business coach, and she follows me on Instagram, but I just kept posting my animals, and she's like, bad bitches don't post their animals, blah, 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 whatever. But I just kept, so I was like, I just need to start another account because I'm so drawn to my animals. I just wanted to post videos of my animals. So I started their TikTok. Within a short amount of time, they went super viral.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is cool. I can do this. I'm posting these videos.
Because you enjoy it.
I love it. And my kids are looking at me. They're calling my videos cringe. And I'm like, I don't even care. I'm so drawn to this, right? Generator energy, human design, follow your joy.
Yes.
So I just
kept
following
the joy. I just got all kinds of chills.
Yeah. Just keep following my joy.
Yes. That's actually the best advice for everyone. Follow your joy. Follow what feels good.
The language is a little bit different for each energy type, but specifically for a generator and a manifesting generator, yes, follow your joy.
Follow your joy.
What lights you up? Yes, they just make me so happy.
And then when you do that.
And I love making videos, right? So and if you want me to go into, I'm outer vision cognition. It's what I see. So I can see what's about to happen, right? So I pull out my camera, I start filming it. I have high sound, which is sound. I can put the music. I get this comment every single day. Every single day. How do you pick the perfect music? Well, because I could see what music would fit well.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
part of your human design.
It's part of my human design.
I wonder if I have that.
Storytelling, 1156 is it's my channel.
Yeah.
That's your superpower. It's storytelling.
Yeah.
I'm telling a story. I literally started a clothing line of them, and people are buying it, of animals, other people's animals.
I want everything that has to do with Richard.
But how do you connect? Through stories. We connect through stories. So I'm tapping into those my superpower.
Yes.
So that's why it's like going so viral so quickly.
So when you live in alignment with your human design,
I'm tapping into my human design.
yes.
Yes.
And then you're also just spreading this frequency that
a generator is here to spread joy.
Yes.
That's what we're here to do.
Yes.
We're here to spread joy. So when I get the comments of like, I get those comments, you bring so much joy. Do you understand how much joy you bring? It feels like, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. But that's how you know you're in alignment, because it comes so easy to you. You don't even recognize what you're doing. But I'm getting DMs. I'm talking all day, every day.
Yes.
You make me like, your page is life. I'm just like, really?
Because it's in alignment.
Because it's in alignment.
And I was watching it happen. And I love that. And you were showing, like, even watching you was showing me something too, just how they'll just kind of, the animals carry energy. My animals do all kinds of things. They confirm things for me. Literally yesterday, a long series of signs, and then somebody sent me like an orange cat. And anyway, she goes, look at it's a sign to look at your cat. And I literally, as I'm reading her text, I look at my cat, because she has texted me, it's a sign to look at your cat. She doesn't know. I look down at my cat, and he's staring at a rainbow on the floor. As soon as I pull out the phone to video it, he walks away. So it's like, the animals are part of the energy too. Of course, everything with matter does, but my animals definitely bring these connections. And
they're higher vibration too, right?
They are.
And I feel like we're in this space right now. We're in a very heated, right? Everything's amping up. So it's
around the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ego deaths are
happening. You know what?
The ego deaths are happening. So.
And I don't barely even feel it. Me personally. But I've been part of it, and what Richard is doing through you, Richard and the Guardians, because there's all these dogs too, through you is like bringing that joy, because we do need more of that, and that we can really we can feel good. And watching, I think for me, when I think about really ego death, I was experiencing that over years, but with Kira's transition, it's just like everything stripped away, which is what has me not too wrapped up in a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean that I don't care. I do. I'm just not in fear, and I'm doing what I could do, which is this podcast, and every moment of the day is trying to help us all, humanity, move into what we are, which is, not fear, not pointing fingers at each other. We're actually all connected. And I just see it all. And when you see that you're connected to literally everything, to this microphone that's in front of me, to everything, then gosh, it feels pretty good, because it's a feeling, and we're all moving into that. So one of the last things I want to ask you before we wrap up, you've kind of spoke to it, but like what it means to feel good always, like what does that mean to you?
Well, to me, it means no matter what is going on, we could still choose just to be happy to be in these physical bodies, because I believe we chose to come in these physical bodies. Mm-hmm. I truly believe our higher self is playing this game piece, this human body. No matter what's happening, it's like a big game, and our higher self is having a blast.
I was totally thinking about this before we came. Of course, it just flashed to me. Virtual reality. Okay, so a picture of Layla and Kira. And we had talked about on the podcast, when furries at the Grand Sierra Resort, that came up today on my featured photos, a picture of them. But they did virtual reality at that thing. They were doing a whole virtual reality thing. And I was thinking about that today, about how it's kind of like a virtual reality. We're literally down here, and like in this reality that feels very real. I'm not discounting how freaking real it feels, but there's actually like a higher self and a team that's like can disconnect at any, they're not connected to it. And it's kind of what we're experiencing. Well, and it's nice to know it. It doesn't mean that I don't take it serious. It's just like, okay, I don't get nervous about things, and I will stand in the power of what I'm saying and not really worry. And that ego death, it needs to happen for people. And I I'm here for it. I'll stand by people when it happens. And knowing that it's happening for us. So,
but that's like a comment I get a lot. It's like, oh, we can learn so much from animals. Yes, but also animals don't have egos. So we're at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Can we learn from them? Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, it just comes naturally to them. They don't have the egos, right?
Yeah. And so before we started here, we said a little prayer to let our ego step aside. That could be a simple thing that people could do, is say, please let my ego step aside so that
I said that on the car ride here. So when you said that, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, we're connected. Like, please have my ego step aside so that I can, before I start any podcast, I ask that our ego step aside to let us say what needs to be said for the highest good of all. It's that simple. Let my ego step aside so that I do whatever I need to do today. And I know people pray to God, let me be in your will, not mine. It's the same idea. Like, let the ego step aside. So those are something simple that people can do. Do you have anything else that you could suggest to people that they could do, like 1 or 2 things that would help them, move into more of this feeling good, like you said, is accessible, at all times?
Well, it's definitely an awareness, right? It's an awareness when you start to feel the fear. For example, I have a lot of fear when my children drive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's when they ask me a question or if they're asking to go somewhere, I feel like this knee-jerk reaction to say no, but I have to stop myself. Why do I want to say no? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's because I have this fear something is going to happen to them. So if I could just work through that fear, right? Because when we live in fear, what does that mean? When we're in fear, we're going to try and control everything around us.
Which is not fun.
Mm-hmm. So
controlling
that's why
we can't control anyways.
No, we have no
Especially
control.
our children.
We have no control.
No.
So if we can work through it's working through the stories is actually what it is. You're working through your mind stories.
So having an awareness.
Pay attention to that. Below the fear, what is the story? What's causing the fear?
Yes. That's like that self-awareness.
Yeah, it's questioning.
And so if people want to get a hold of you to help with human design, which, I mean, they can clearly, if they've listened, you're so passionate about it. You do readings for people.
I do readings. I do have an ebook.
You do?
Yes. So
I'll link to that.
Because whenever I do the reading, everyone wants to know more.
Yeah.
Right? Because if human design speaks to you, it's because you're ready. I call it just another puzzle piece or whatever, another game piece. It's another game piece that you put in there in your game to help you remember. It's here just to help you remember who you are.
Thank you. That's what this podcast is.
It's just to help you to remember who you are.
Yes, it helps you remember who you are. So we're going to end there, but I want to say that I'll put everything for people to be able to reach you down in the show notes, and so that they could, if they want to, they can get a reading from you. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You actually did so good.
Thank you.
You let the ego step aside and the fear step aside. And so did I a long time ago.
Yeah,
but I love to just be here with you. And thank you for coming.
I just love being in your presence because
I love being in your presence.
I can just feel how you're so embodied. You're in the present moment. That's why I just stare at you because I'm like, I want that.
Well, we get in we surround ourselves with people with what that have what we want. That's something I do too. I surround myself with people. It's not a judgment on the other people that don't have what I want.
Right.
I surround myself with people doing the things that I'm doing, and I listen to podcasts and I read books and I do the things that give me peace. And so when we do that, that helps us feel good. And so you are somebody that embodies what I want too. And so we just do this back and forth together, and now we're helping other people too. And so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening, and tune in next time. Thank you, Lacy, for being here today. And in our next episode, I'm going to be doing a solo talk on how when we start to awaken, we want everyone else to feel what we are feeling, but what we really need to do is surrender.
and surrender to everything. This whole feel good always is always about surrender, so we're going to surrender them too. Of course, it sounds easier than it is, so we'll dive into that in the next podcast. Remember, the universe is always communicating with us, helping us align with who we truly are. And until next time, may you notice the signs, trust the guidance, and remember to feel good always.